Where the talk is the beats.
What? Sue Gray report.
I don't know who the fuck she is.
Oh,
Tell me.
so the Sue Gray report is, I don't know what her job is, but she's the person writing the report into investigating the parties that they had at.
Partygate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ain't she part of the government?
Yeah,
Right. So it's the government investing themselves.
Exactly.
Investigating themselves. Sorry.
exactly.
So okay.
But-
I wish they'd allow me to do that when I get caught
know.
for shit. I wish I could
Yeah.
investigate my own crimes. It'd be fantastic. So
Well, yeah, but she's supposed to be somehow impartial, or she's gonna give a full report about what happened. So she's got to be honest, because the public, we already know what's happened.
She's gotta
It's
be
already
honest.
been reported.
why she got to be honest? 6 months down the line, we'll discover that she was sucking someone's dick or some shit. Someone that's involved in the situation.
Yeah, because we already know what's happened. That's been reported on, so she can't.
Well, ain't it still alleged? They keep using words like alleged and shit.
The news use words like alleged quite a lot to cover their own back.
Yeah. Is it not evidently apparent now?
I think it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
yeah.
in the bag.
Just
So
judging
what's the
by the
investigation
reports
now
that
then?
I've seen.
Because apparently, I heard someone say that they're just misdemeanor crimes. They're small fries.
Yeah.
What would you call them? They're minor.
Okay, so the reports come out.
Oh, it's actually come out
The
now.
reports come out now.
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, there's me and you wouldn't be punished big time for what they've done, but the thing is, so here's the question. Here's today's question. Should the authorities, now they got my answer on this bastard, it's in the book, Stupidity Humanity by Nathan Nelson. But who should face the most harshest sentences? Those who are subservient to the law, or those who administer the law? Should the general public, when being caught for smoking weed, suffer a harsher sentence than a police officer that's been caught for smoking weed? You know what I mean? Now, to me, it's evident that the answer to that should be those who are telling you and forcing you and inflicting their judiciary and their authority over you.
Yeah.
They're the ones who should, so to speak, know better. So they should face the most harsh
I
punishment.
believe that the law, it's an aggravating factor in sentencing when you're in a position of power or a position of trust.
Normally, not when it comes to governments and banks. It seems to be like that with minor forms of
So
hierarchy.
Say for instance, if it was a underage sex trial,
School teacher. If
and
it was a school teacher
it was a
situation.
school teacher
Yeah.
versus
A student.
yeah.
Then because the hierarchy is
Yeah.
not that powerful and it's not that aristocratic,
Exactly. Yeah.
and it's not related to politics,
Yes, yeah.
then they would be, you should know better.
Exactly. They're a person in
Yeah.
a position of trust.
Yeah.
Which would be
That's
an
not
extra
connected.
aggravating factor than a person
Yeah.
who was just a random person.
That's right. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but somebody who's in the government position or in the police, when they're found guilty, so I to my understanding,
Do you
when
know
they
this though?
do I what?
Do you know this?
Oh, we know this with government. We know this with politicians, because how many politicians have been to prison?
I've
Okay.
seen politicians with what seem like lenient sentences.
Yeah,
and things that
they hardly ever have any sentences. Okay, let's say for example, taking the country to war. It was called illegally, wasn't it? The Iraq War. Tony Blair and George Bush making up evidence and doing
yeah.
things that were incorrect
Yeah,
and not
they
listening
got
to the
away
rest of the.
scot-free. Nothing happened to it. In fact,
Nothing
Tony Blair's just been
happened.
knighted.
There you
And
go.
it's not just a knighthood; it's like a super duper knighthood.
But that's because he did what he was supposed to do, and this is it's in perfect corration to as
He
to
was
why
supposed to commit crimes against
he's
humanity.
supposed to do
Yeah.
these things. In my opinion, this is why, but the evidence is in the actions. If he wasn't supposed to, he wouldn't be knighted. They knighted him and he made a load of mistakes, right? According to the official theory of what you're supposed to do as a government, he made so many mistakes, and but he managed to skip prison and he managed to skip any real retribution or anything.
Yeah.
But then after his time, he ends up getting a load of awards, which then suggests in actuality, not in theory, but in actuality, his role was perfectly completed. Another example is the Vietnamese War. People think that America lost, or the Iraqi War. People and Afghanistan, we lost. All that time we spent, we lost soldiers. We ended up letting the Taliban back in. But they won because all the contractors to build the place back up and to control the drugs and to control certain things over there, include especially with Vietnam and with Iraq and all the contractors to rebuild the systems and rebuild. And you need to listen or read the book or audio book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I highly recommend that. And he was one of the dudes that goes into a country like with Saddam, and Saddam didn't listen. You go in there and you say, like he did to the Saudis, if you accept our terms and conditions in terms of politics and the way we ask you to do things, we will in return give you we will build up your country economically economically and infrastructural wise to where it's so sophisticated, and we'll bring you into the modern age. And this is apparently what Saudi Arabia did in Dubai and all those places there. So this is why they I don't know about Dubai, but Saudi Arabia, and this is why they've been brought up kind of to the modern age, and they've got a bag of money. But as long as we're allowed to regulate the prices with the oil and just be decent with the prices and make sure it's all traded in dollars and all this kind of stuff. So just do as you're told, we're cool. Now Saddam didn't accept it. So then the next step, this guy says, is you then send in the jackals coming next. The jackals are the CIA operatives, and they're the ones that kind of try and take you out. But they couldn't do it with Saddam because he had so many lookalikes and stuff, and he had very good security. So after they failed their attempts to try to get hold of Iraq's economics, after the economic hitmen tried to go in with just the private corporate deals, they moved on to the army. So once the economic hitman fell, the jackals fell, they go straight in for the military thing, and that's exactly what happened. And so I can't remember my point, but so the knighthoods. And so why is he being rewarded when in actual fact on paper it doesn't seem like he did that much for the country? I don't remember what his achievement was.
So he's been rewarded by the establishment for things he's achieved for them, but it's dressed up as things he achieved as a politician. Like whatever the fuck he did.
Okay, because I was going to say what was
the new Labour movement in the late 90s. Yeah. Whatever the fuck that was supposed to be.
Do you remember the song? Things can only get better. Did they did for him. Yeah, they did for him. They got really better for him. You know what I'm saying? He's getting millions of pounds for speaking this shit now, isn't he, as well?
Oh, yeah, for him. Yeah.
Yeah. But they always, look, one thing I've learned as a historian, which is what I am, is when the further you go back, when it comes to the wars and they take the peasants and the lords would fight on behalf of the kings, and they would take the peasants with them because they were serfs of the land, and they would go and conquer new lands, or they would defend and go get things. Basically, what they would do is they would anytime they had defeated territory, they would divide the booty up between in order of importance, based on what your status levels were. So obviously the king would get most of the stuff, and then the aristocrats who then fought on their behalf as the generals, they would get a significant part of the booty, new lands and stuff, and then they would give their favorite men who helped them to do stuff. They would award them certain honors and honorary titles, and then those people at the bottom who got killed in the families, and the peasants didn't get jack. They were just basically sent home to okay, this is the time that he wants to bring. So yeah, they were just sent home to get nothing anyway. But yeah, and that kind of should maybe even conclude today, unless you got anything else to say. We're in a rush.
Nope.
So to be continued.
Let's continue this another day.